YouTube, it is Climpet here, and I thought I'd share a video with one of my own little home remedies because I have a sore throat right now, and before it gets any worse, I decided to make myself some of my tea to help with that, and I thought I'd tell you what I do. So what I use is mint. Well, what I used this time, I pretty much just use whatever I have. I came up with this recipe about 2 years ago when I had the flu really bad, and that was the first time I'd ever used completely natural sources of healing. I used olive leaf extract, olive leaf capsules. I made a lot of chicken noodle soup, a lot of garlic, a lot of onion, a lot of pepper, which is really good. It really is good for, flushing the system. And I also made a tea, very similar to this. I think the recipe was a little bit different, but, pretty much the same stuff is used in all of them because I use what I have and what I grew. And that makes me really excited that I made a remedy with everything that I grew myself. So the main ingredient is mint. This is just mint, just straight up normal mint. You could use peppermint, you can use spearmint, just whatever mint you have. Mint is a really great herb that is a really great all-purpose herb, And I use it all the time. I use mint, and if you notice, my mint and all of my herbs are still in whole leaf form. I was always taught, I'm not, I don't have any certificates or anything, but I was always taught that when you're going to use herbs for medicinal purposes or for food purposes, you keep them in leaf form because it helps them hold, their flavor, their smell, their medicinal, what's the word I'm looking for? It helps keep everything safe and locked inside this little leaf. And then when you want to use it, that's when you crush it up because it helps release all of that. And you also try to keep everything in dark jars. This was actually a tea canister, like a thing that held iced tea. It's my grandmother's. It's very old. But maybe I'll get into that later, another day. But first ingredient is mint. I just used a handful. And lemon balm, rosemary, sage, a lemon, honey, and I used a little bit of catnip this time. And basically all I did was, put a pot of water on to boil. In a separate container, I dumped about a handful of mint, probably about 2 handfuls worth of mint. And I crushed it all up, put it in there. Then I used some lemon balm. This is lemon balm I grew last year. I don't have a lot of it because my plant dies. I'm going to get a new one. This jar is clear, but I keep this in a cabinet so it doesn't get any sunlight because sunlight destroys the plants. If you're going to use them for magical purposes, I'm sure they'd be fine. But, for medicinal purposes or food seasoning, you want them to keep all of their properties. So keep them out of sunlight. Keep them in dark jars, and if you can't keep them in a dark jar, keep them in a cabinet and keep them dry. Probably more than that. I think I used about half of this jar. Yes, I just crushed that up, added it to the container. I used a small handful of rosemary, a little bit more than what's in here right now. And the sage, I only used a couple leaves of sage. A little bit. I didn't use much out of this. I used about that much. I bet you can't even see that, but oh well. I don't measure anything. I don't. I just wing it. I just grab what I need and I crush it up and I dump it in. Yep. And the mint, like I said, is just a really good all-purpose herb. You can use it, if you just feel nasty, if you think you're sick, mint's always a good thing to help. If you have diarrhea, mint, if you want to help go to sleep, mint. If your throat hurts, mint. Mint is my must-have herb at all times. Lemon balm is really good for sore throats and colds and flus. And it smells, like if you crush it up, it smells like lemon soap or lemon floor wax. It's pretty cool. Sage is another really good all-purpose herb. It aids in digestion if you eat it right after you've eaten some. If you cook it with your food, it helps aid in digestion. It's also really good for soothing your sore throat if that's a problem you have, like I do right now. You crush it up, make tea out of it. Rosemary, I love rosemary. This is one of my new favorite herbs as well. This is an anti-inflammatory. Yeah, good stuff. And I make smudge sticks out of rosemary all the time. I love my rosemary. It makes great baths. It tastes delicious. It's a preservative. So, like, if you're making a potato salad or something for a picnic, you can crush it up and put it in there, and that'll help keep the mayonnaise from getting nasty and giving you a stomach bug. The lemon, you know, that's a disinfectant, and it has really high in vitamin C, which is very good for you. So you just, you know, squeeze it, like smush it up so you get all the juice going, and then you just squeeze it into it. And honey is perfect for sore throats because it's a antiseptic and it has all kinds of wonderful qualities in it. But I don't know all of them. I just know there's all kinds of wonderful qualities in it, and it's really good for sore throats because it kind of puts a coating in there. I love it. This is like food of the gods. Yeah. So I crushed up all the herbs, put them in a little container. Then once the water was boiling, I poured the water over it, let it steep for about 7 minutes, strained off, you know, put a little sieve up here, poured it all out into the jar, then added the lemon. I just poured the honey in. I probably put about 3 tablespoons of honey in, maybe more, stirred it up, and voila. And I'm going to drink all of this tonight. Right now, the other half of this is in this mug. And I think it tastes awesome.